We'll begin with our pot of sand right here. We have a large metal spoon, a top for the pot, and the type of sand we're going to have will be the finest that you can possibly get. I usually just go to the building store and get the kind for children's sandboxes. And so what we're going to do is this. We're going to heat this up for several minutes on high, and I'll show you how you can tell when this is hot enough to use. So we'll put the top on, we'll turn the stove on high, and we'll let it heat for several minutes. Okay, inside this pitcher what we have are our quills. That is our feathers that we've been soaking overnight. They're full of water. We're going to shake them out like this. Get all the water out that we can. They don't smell very good, and so what we're going to see is that they're very soft and they have a kind of a milky color. They're very flexible and very milky. That milky color is an indicator that they're very soft right now. So we're going to clarify them in hot sand, and let me show you the change that'll happen. What you'll see here is this, that this is the feather that's been soaking in water overnight, and you can see how milky the color is. That's an indicator that it's soft. This is a feather that we've just taken out of the sand, and you can see how it's been clarified. It's become much more clear in color. There's still the outer membrane left on it. And right here what we have is the feather itself after it's been immersed in the hot sand, after it's been clarified or cured, and the outer membrane has been rubbed off. So it goes from very soft to harder and clearer, and finally the membrane outside is rubbed off. And that's what we're after. We're back to our sand in the heated pan. And a good way to tell that the sand is hot enough is we'll take a little bit of cold water on our fingertips and spatter it on the surface of the sand, and it should sizzle and dance. Okay, I think you heard that. I think you saw it. That's a good indicator that the sand is now very hot and it's ready for us to begin clarifying the quills. So we're going to take the quills that I had soaking in the water overnight that are milky and soft, and we're going to fill these tubes, as it were, with the hot sand and immerse them in there for a few seconds, and we'll take a look and we'll see how we'll determine that these are ready. So let's back off for just a minute. Okay, what I'm going to do right here is this. I'm going to have my quill over the hot sand. I've got my glove on that's going to protect me because the sand is so hot and it's going to spill over from off the quill onto my hand. And I'm simply going to ladle this up and I'm going to pour it in. Sometimes the sand is so hot you can actually hear it sizzling as it goes into the wet end of this feather. Now that this is full of sand, it's filled to the top, I'm going to push the sand away from me this way, and I'm going to immerse this into the sand 1001, 1002, 1003. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see if the outer membrane is beginning to bubble up here. It's just beginning to do it a little bit. I'll do it again, 1001, 1002, 1003. And I'm going to look at it, and yeah, it's beginning to bubble up, this outer membrane. And then what I do is I simply tap this off. I tap out as much sand as I possibly can. And what we're going to do is take a closer look at this. Now, when we look at the end of the tube, as it were, the quill, we can see that the membrane on the outside has begun to blister away. And this is what we want to see. This is a good indicator that it needs to be taken out of the hot sand. Afterwards, we can remove the outer membrane very easily by rubbing it aggressively with burlap, or even using the blunt side of our quill knife and very easily scraping it away.